Hello, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Great British Design Podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the 11th episode of the Great British Design Podcast. I'm Andy. I'm here with Nick and Harry.
Hello.
Hi.
And today we're talking about iPads in design.
Ooh.
Why you should use one, why you should probably get one if you don't have one, and what we use them for. But before we're doing that, we'll do our usual, going over what projects we've been working on, or just generally what we're doing in our day-to-day lives, getting through the grind. How you guys doing?
Through the grind.
What it's all
Or
about.
starting a new grind.
Or starting the new grind.
Who wants to go first?
I thought that was you. You saying you wanted to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, what have I been up to? I had a pretty chill weekend. You know, I took the 4-day Easter holiday as a full-on relax and not do any work, and so that was quite nice. Spend some time with the family and that. So that was very nice. Still no progress with the old desk organizer. Although today,
I'm in shock.
The weekly project, which was the desk organizer. However, I'd started my new job today, sitting at my empty desk, and I saw potential. It's gonna happen. It's happening this week. I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
It's coming out of necessity now. You need a desk
it's so
organizer.
empty, and I need people to be like, "Oh, he's got a 3D printer. He makes stuff." So I need
give him loads of
to
money.
Make something, right? So and so that was nice. Started a new job. I'm knackered, so today was my first day in my new job, and cycled to and from work, and it killed me. Cycle home, man. Cycle home. Wind. I managed to get behind a cyclist who overtook me and sit in a slipstream for like 10 minutes. That helped. It was good. He thought he was laughing overtaking me, but he wasn't laughing after. I was the one laughing afterwards, that's for sure.
Freezing cold wind as well.
Yeah.
So cold today.
It's been snowing today. I don't know if it's been for you guys, but
yes, and sunny, which is weird.
Should snow tonight, apparently. A little bit.
And it was hailing as well, cycling home, so that's never great. Hail smacking in your face when you're cycling home. But and I guess today I also had to wake up early because I'm in at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I managed to set my alarm for 6 and get out of bed straight away. Why could I not do that before?
How long is your cycle? How long is your actual commute?
I'd say it's about 35 minutes cycling. So it's quite relaxing. It's next to you cycle like next to the canal for most of it. It's quite peaceful.
Nice.
So it's pretty nice. And I mean, honestly, I've not really done a lot. I've got a bit of freelance work that I need to do still, which is nice.
Ooh.
And negotiated new hours and new time to communicate and all that. So that was good. And started a new book. So,
nice.
Yeah, that's me.
Sounds
it's
pretty
been
good.
Pretty chilled out, to be honest. Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Shall I take
Harry?
over? Or Harry take
Go
over?
on, Andy. Go on, Andy.
So the personal project's taken a back seat this week.
Oh,
Not
no.
really been on them. Yeah, my weekend was kind of a lot of seeing family. But we actually did something when I went to see my parents that we always do when we go out drinking. Turns into a bit of a press-up competition.
Oh no.
So I haven't done proper exercise in ages. I keep saying that I'm going to do it and never do. And my brother said that he started working out 6 days a week. So I was like, okay.
So you saw that as a challenge.
So I challenged him. I was like, come on. So I managed 20 press-ups, which, considering I've not worked out for a while, I was quite impressed with. I thought I was going to be like 10. Honestly, it was ridiculous. And my dad joined in.
Unbelievable.
And then
That's amazing.
that's what sort of got me into, because gyms are opening up on Monday. For anyone that doesn't know.
Are they? I
Yeah,
didn't even realise.
on Monday. So, my plan for at some morning this week, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, I'm going to test my max of everything from home. Max press-ups, max pull-up, max dips, max bodyweight squats, all that stuff. And then see after going to the gym for a few months, and then see what they're like in a few months' time. I was also thinking about maybe doing a video for myself, like not for YouTube,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you
myself.
should get some progress pictures to...
Yeah, that was it. I was thinking about having some pictures and like some weigh myself beforehand, and like I thought I could do a video of it just for me, but we'll kind of see.
Yeah, why not?
Because
What would you do? The video would just be you working out and...
Yeah, so just a video of each of my max attempt things, and then see it in a few months' time, do the same thing, and see how many I can do.
Sounds good. Yeah, why not? Why not?
That's a good little personal project thing.
Yeah. So like I wouldn't post it
Benchmark
anywhere.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just a video of me in the mirror looking like a sack of
Swole.
whatever I am right now. But yeah, also the YouTube stuff. I haven't made a YouTube video in over a month, and it just randomly took off 2 weeks ago, getting many more subscribers, many more views, and I have no idea why. It just happened, which was nice.
The algorithm gods.
Yeah, I mean, like
We're
nothing.
pleased with you for some reason.
Nothing compared to these like big YouTubers, but yeah, like I sent you guys a
it's starting
picture
out.
on Sunday to say that I had 200, and
That's amazing.
the next day I had 204. It was
Oh, wow.
it was just like, get in here. So that was quite exciting. And I have
It's a
another
nice
YouTube
little
channel.
milestone, isn't it?
Yeah, I think 200's pretty good.
That's really good to start off with, right?
Yeah, that was my aim by the end of last year, but that's okay. I set myself bad aims that I can't actually stick to because there's nothing I can do. I can't help it. And one other thing is I have a gaming channel too, and in the last 5 months we've restarted that again, and that's kicked off over the last 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
And yeah, if it was the old partnership scheme, we'd be at the threshold of being able to get partnered, but unfortunately you need much
That's
more.
amazing.
But yeah,
Then what do you know what the new one is?
yeah, we're not there.
Not there. Okay.
But it's still a milestone in itself.
100%.
Considering, so basically our thing was when we meet up we do videos, and just because it's fun, and that's what we were waiting to do. So we waited a year without doing a video, and then we were like, well, we play Smite on the weekends, so why not just put up videos of us playing Smite? And for some reason people watch those quite a bit, so we'll take that.
Yeah.
I can imagine the Smite community is pretty small,
It is.
so I reckon they'd get on any
I like that
hype
sort
of any YouTuber, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they're
That's really good.
very
Good way to
die-hard
grow.
for Smite. Like Smite's their life kind of situation. It's like it's one of those communities,
Really cool game though. Smite.
I'm a solid fan.
I tried it on console one time.
Oh, it's
was
a
tough.
different meta on console. Bigger
thought you guys
circles,
can't
bigger
game with it.
wins. Whoever's got the big circle, and there's a character that has an ult where if you look at her, you get turned to stone. It's Medusa, and on console the sensitivity is so low that you can't look away. So she's good on
OP.
that. Yeah, anyway, that's me.
It's hilarious.
It's so dumb.
When's your next YouTube video, Andy?
I don't know. So I've got 2 ideas in the works, and they're both long guys. So I've got no idea. Honestly, I might need to do another quick one to show that I'm like still alive.
Yeah. Well, you did a lot in like a few weeks. So
I did. I was a keen bean.
You can spread them out a bit more.
Did a good job, yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to do it so it's a bit more long term, like viable. Like you can't just burn out you need to
No,
sort
I
of-
know. I should have stretched out the ones that I did, to be honest.
You could have waited like a week or two and then upload it. Or whatever.
Exactly. I was just
Have a bit more of a schedule with it.
hyped. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. I think that's fine.
You're putting us to shame. There's a video every week. I was like, God damn. I've been talking about it for 2 years and I've not done one.
Well, I made a video, but no one's seeing that.
you need to put it up. Why not?
There's no chance anyone's going to see that video. It's just not anywhere close to good enough.
Gotta hack into your system and upload it.
I think you might as
I will
well.
burn it after this podcast.
Why not?
I might upload it, but just make it a private video. But we'll see.
Mm.
Probably not. Let's be honest.
You can let
Half the
us see
stuff
it,
I
at
show
least.
online, I've done about 4 things before that. So I need more practice making videos. That was the first video I've ever made, so it's one of those things.
Mm.
Shall I go on to what
Yeah, on to
I
you.
did this week?
Yeah.
So I mentioned briefly that I got a new job last week.
Yeah.
And I handed in my notice last week as well. So I've got, including this week, 3 more weeks, which I chose a really good month to hand in my notice because I had 2 short weeks in a month, which was quite good. But that has sort of, like, in this new job, I'm going to be doing a lot more actual physically making things, a lot more of the making skills as well as the design stuff. So I've got back on the hype of leatherworking stuff. So I've bought some new tools for leatherworking, done a few leatherworking projects in which I'm writing a blog post and stuff. I'm going to put some more pages on my websites for those projects. I made a few wallets and bits and pieces trying to improve my skills with that. And I bought some sharpening stones and all sorts so I can maintain my tools and actually have sharp tools rather than trying to cut stuff with a blunt knife. So all that stuff is quite good. So I've just been sort of playing around with that. I've also been interrupted from work about 5 times a day with getting deliveries of all my parts for the 3D printer. So I've literally, you see in the video, I've got like servo motors, pulleys, all sorts on my desk.
That's
Just-
exciting though, isn't it?
Just so many parts now, but so I need to make some spreadsheet to like track all the bits I'm missing still and need. And then the rest of this week, so from tomorrow, after this podcast, I'm going to organise it all. But I'll be basically 3D printing start 3D printing all the parts for the printer. So that is exciting, that all the physical parts will be printed, and then I'll start assembling that in the next... Hopefully all the parts come this week, there might be next week. All the important parts anyway. So that's very exciting.
Sounds really
And
good.
Definitely.
the last thing that I did this week, and it was what one of the leatherworking projects was around, was I got an iPad
Hey.
last week. I got the 2020 iPad Pro, the smaller version, is it 11-inch or 10.5 inch version, and I've basically just been playing around with that, messing around with that a bit, and I've made an iPad case for that. That was one of the leatherworking projects I did.
They look nice. How long did that take you?
It was, well, see, cutting it out and that didn't take too long because it's a pretty simple thing. It's basically just like an envelope sort of style, with 3 or 4 pockets on the front for a notepad and stuff. So the idea would be I could then take the iPad to a cafe and also have a little physical notebook that I can jot things in and whatever. So in theory, I'll be able to go there and do whatever I want with those things. It didn't take too long. I cut it out and glued it all together and got to a stage where it was usable, just mainly with glue, in one evening. And then I sort of did the big stitch around the edge the following evening. So it doesn't take too long if you plan it out. So I basically, what I usually do for a new thing, I make it in paper. Basically a mock-up of it in paper, and then I can just trace around the paper, and it's pretty easy. So
Yeah, sounds good.
yeah, I've basically just been trying to improve on those skills because, like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot more making physical things. It'll be more woodwork and things like that, but some of the skills are a bit rusty. But it's just become a lot more sort of relevant to my actual work, this hobby that I have, sort of thing. So I'm very excited about that.
That sounds
Yeah,
exciting.
definitely.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, but I guess going into our actual topic this week, which is,
Transition.
you may realise why
Topic
this
of
is
the
the topic.
week.
I've been learning the iPad and sort of playing around with bits and pieces. These two both have iPads, and they've had them a lot longer than I have. So we're just going to sort of talk about how we feel the iPad can be used for design, and what bits we like and what bits we don't like, I guess. And just have a sort of relatively casual chat about the iPad and how it works.
Yeah. What's your first
I mean, just to clarify, I
impressions?
guess I don't actually have one. I've got a Surface,
Oh.
but I will.
Same
I've got a
difference.
very old iPad, which doesn't count. It's just a Kindle now. But I will. I want to
Yeah.
buy one. So
Yeah. I mean, apart from the actual apps you'll be using, it's all the same, like, terms of stuff it can do, right?
Yeah. Touchscreen
and
drawery thing.
yes, to answer your question, Andy, I love it. It's very
Yeah.
nice. It's
I knew
very
that'd be the
satisfying
case.
to use. Yeah. I've wanted one for a very long time. And I just realised, wait a minute, there's no better time than when I'm still in lockdown, and I feel like I've got more money because I'm not spending any money. But yeah, no, it's very good. I am not as good at drawing on it as I am on paper, but
No.
it's gonna happen. But it's very nice to have
do you
an
think
undo
that's-
button.
yeah. Do you think that's just because of the glossy kind of texture?
Yes.
You
So,
think,
and
or-
I have heard other people say that. And there's a few like screen protector things that add texture, so I might try one of those.
See, I
not
didn't
really
know they
sure.
existed, but they sound like a good time.
Well,
'Cause
I
I like
think
texture.
most of the people who I've seen do it are these productivity YouTubers, and they talk about them for like just taking notes, and like
Yeah.
it's just a lot nicer to just write with and stuff. But I mean, what's different? Like drawing and writing, it's the same thing, really.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I might try it. I don't know what brand. There's many, I'm sure, but I think it's more than just that, though. It's not just the textures, but that is definitely slightly off-putting for me. That it's just feels like I'm going so fast.
Do you still
Yeah,
turn it
it's-
round
it's gonna
rather
take some
than
time.
turning the paper on the screen?
no.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's probably a good habit to hold on to. Maybe I'm not sure.
Well, I've been doing it mainly on my desk here, so it's like easy for
Yeah.
me to turn it around. But if I was sat in a chair and like didn't have a table, then you'd need to move the paper on the screen rather than the whole
Yeah,
iPad.
I normally like
so
chill
that is a
out and
habit.
sit down and have it on
Yeah.
me kind of thing. Probably not optimal sketching technique, but who cares, you know?
Well,
Doesn't
yeah,
matter,
exactly.
does it?
That's the best thing about the iPad, though, is you can really
Just do it
use
anywhere.
right?
Do it anywhere.
Yeah. So do you guys
Yeah.
find you using an iPad a lot? Or a little, or...
All the time. I mean,
All the
just in general, like not just sketching stuff. I use it constantly. Like right now, it's my second screen because I didn't want to fork out £100 and odd for a new screen. So I was like, £10 app, yes please. So I've got that. It's my second thing. I use it to watch videos while I'm cooking. I use it to take notes on. You know, this is just stuff apart from the sketching on it. It's just constantly used. If I ever want to just look up something rather than use my phone, I can see it better. iPad.
You
All-
have the
all
small
good.
version of the
I have
the Pro, but the small
yeah,
version
the
as well.
small Pro, but mine's 2017 version, so it's 10.5 inches. I don't know what the new small one is, but it might be
Yeah.
slightly bigger. I'm not sure, but it's the perfect size for me to like hold and sketch, because that was the issue when I was first getting this. Was how big the other one is. It's really, if you're having them on a table, then the big one's probably better if it's always on a table. But if you want it portable, why would you not get the smaller one, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that people who use it, like graphic designers and stuff, where their actual basically whole job is drawing on it, they'll get a big one. It makes
Yeah,
perfect
of course,
sense.
yeah.
But
Why
they're
not?
probably not, when they can, it's not massive, but it's the same as taking a laptop round at that point. Like
Yeah,
you need a
yeah.
laptop bag of
Oh,
like,
it
or
isn't- yeah, it's not
size of like a
massive.
laptop bag, rather than this, which could actually fit in something very small, which is really nice. Makes it so much better. And also, I got the second generation pencil, which is very nice. That it charges
It's got the
just
magnetic.
magnetized on the side.
Yeah, so mine's the OG where you have to poke it in the bottom. Such a
Yeah.
terrible design for like a solid company.
It feels
It's
like a bit of an
terrible design.
afterthought,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
it?
was like,
It's
how are we
shit,
going to
need
charge
to
this
charge the
pen?
pencil?
But like,
Oh.
that's not like Apple, to be fair. They normally think things through quite well. But yeah,
it
that's
must have been
definitely,
rushed. Must have been rushed.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but the actual pencil itself is still
Oh, the
really lovely.
pencil's
Though, isn't
amazing.
it?
There's nothing wrong with the. It's just charging it. It's just so awkward. It does come with some like extension of just a normal charger where you can like put it on the end of the lightning charger and then put your pen in. But I've lost that bit because it's tiny. It's absolutely tiny. So I've lost that bit. So I just charge my iPad, then stick the pen out the end for a few minutes, and then it's good to go. I mean, it charges. It charges so quick.
Yeah.
Like if you want a quick 20-minute sketch, poke it in the end for 30 seconds, and you're fine. It charges so quick.
Good.
Yeah, I wonder if that version charges quicker than the magnetic version, though. Quite possibly, I'd imagine. But I can't test, and you can't test either.
I guess
because it's a hard.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a proper connection. Yeah. I'm not sure, but I mean, but your one will always be charging just before you've used it, unless like you've left it somewhere. But
yeah.
So that's a.
Well, the Surface Pen is battery powered, so you actually have to buy batteries for it, which is a bit of a pain.
What batteries fit in there?
Oh God,
they're like the little
like
round
the tiny disc ones?
No, they're like just your standard kind of
like AAA.
kind of AA kind of size. It's smaller than AAA.
Really?
I forget the size of it. Maybe just quadruple A. Is that a thing? I'm not sure, but it's
don't know.
it's a very
It's
small standard battery size.
What sort of diameter is the pen then? It must be quite thick compared to the Apple one, because the Apple one is
it is quite thick. Yeah,
the Apple one is super like skinny. Like
you still have the end of yours. I've lost that too.
Well, I don't take it off in mine.
Well, yeah, true. I say that's what happened when I moved. For some reason, I just left the end of my pencil behind.
Maybe I can grab mine.
It's messed up all the balance now.
Yeah, I'm just so used to it now. I mean, it looks disgusting, but I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
For anyone listening, we're showing it to the camera on YouTube.
See, yeah, the Surface one is a bit.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. The Surface one does seem a bit chunkier, but it does have a pocket clip as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, which is quite. I don't use it.
It has something better than an Apple one, which is the rubber on the other end.
Rubber.
Flip it.
It's got rubber on it. This section here, which again, I'm showing the camera the Surface Pro pen, and it's got a little button on the side which you can program to use for other functions. So if you're using Photoshop, for example, you could have that as like undo or something.
That is nice. Yeah,
so that's some good features.
Yeah.
So what sort of in terms of design stuff, what apps do you guys use? Do you just use a drawing thing or what? So I know you use Procreate
is the main stuff. So
I got that on your recommendation too.
Yeah, I bought it the first day that I got it. I didn't just use that because I thought, want to test out other stuff. So I got Procreate and Sketchbook Pro just because or Sketchbook, whatever. Just because we used that before. So I thought I'll just test out both. And you can get the same result with both of these things. Like you don't need one or the other. But Procreate is just quicker for everything. Like Sketchbook Pro.
It seems a bit more optimized for tablets, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Sketchbook probably just ported it over to the iPad from like the PC version. So you still have like, you need to get the ruler out, or you need to get the curves out, or whatever you need. Whereas a Procreate, you do it as a shortcut. You hold a line down and it's straight. You hold a curve down and you can change the curve.
Yeah.
So and just the shortcuts with the 2-finger tap to undo, 3 fingers to redo, swipe down with 3 fingers, you can copy and paste stuff. It's like that stuff saves so much. Nice. Yeah, gestures, that's it. It saves so much time.
Yeah. So I've pretty much only used Procreate. It it feels like Sketchbook Pro feels when you're using it on a computer, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because Sketchbook Pro, when we used it at uni, it felt pretty good. It felt right at the time on computer, and that's like, this feels right for iPad. It just works.
So yeah, because you can still get all the shortcuts if you're using like a keyboard. You can just like a Control Z it, or if you've got like your tablet with, I'm sure, do they have buttons on like the tablets where you have to look up at the screen?
Some do, and some
I'm sure
don't.
they'll have some
It
like
depends,
macro buttons on where you can get these undos and what. I mean, that's the main one. Honestly, that's the main function.
That's what I use a lot. That's all I do.
Undo.
Yeah. Another obvious prime like advantage of drawing on tablets, which is obviously something I'm getting used to coming from just paper for years, is you have layers. You can draw on layers. So this is exactly why all these Instagram drawings are so clean, because they have all of my rough sketches that you see in all my sketches. The rough layer is all on a different layer, and then you just do it neat on top. So I'm pretty excited to see how this will actually affect my drawing style, because generally my style, because I've been only using paper, I do relatively quick rough sketches. I do enjoy that, but I could do just as quick sketches in iPad, and they can look very clean in comparison. So I'm interested, once I get used to it a bit more and more comfortable with it. I'm actually really excited about that. I'm really excited about the fact that you can zoom in.
Yeah.
And you can actually draw details nicely, whereas half the time, if you're drawing with a pencil, even a mechanical pencil, you can't do some of the fine details sometimes because your pen's gone a bit blunt, and you're like, I actually can't. It's just you're just filling in a space rather than doing details in a space, whereas you can actually do that. So I'm really excited. A lot of things I haven't learned in terms of Procreate drawing stuff. Like, I haven't really experimented with any of the different brushes. I just found one that I sort of liked that felt nice.
Yeah, that's what you got to do to start with, I think.
But I need to experiment with all those things more and just see how play out, because I haven't played around any of the marker stuff. Like trying to recreate the marker look. I haven't done any of that, but I'm
I've
really
got a file I
excited.
can send you.
Please do.
It's not as good as a marker. I know some people have made really good ones where you got to pay for them, but I ain't about that life. Not right,
No.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need
when
to.
I get
You
good,
start
maybe.
off, do you?
But
Yeah.
no, exactly.
I mean, you can make all
I've
these
probably-
things yourself,
Yeah.
if you want to.
I would say I have probably like halved my sketching skill by going to iPad currently. But mainly because I'm just learning so many things with it. But,
Yeah.
that will catch up very quickly, I'm sure, and then hopefully it will go beyond where I am. Just because so many sketches I give up on because I'm like, oh, I've done too many lines, it's too messy. Or
Yeah, whereas you can just
it will take too long. Or like you if you do a line too heavy because you're doing an outer line, you're doing your line weighting, you'd mess up with pencil, and you're like, I can't even rub that out because you'll still see it. This you rub out and it's gone. Like, so things like that are going to be so nice.
And if you're not happy with how clean it is, you can just drop the opacity down, start a new layer, go again, and it's fine.
So I'm very excited for that. Very excited.
One thing that's really good for the layering is you can do your lights last. Like, you don't have to do your lights first. Whereas, like, when you're doing it like a marker sketch, you have to do everything that's light. Then you get darker and darker and darker and darker. And then you can finish off with a white pencil or whatever, but you can't get it really light. And that's something that I always struggled with, where people leave like complete white sections, and I always struggled with that. Whereas, like, now you can whack them in at the end, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
That's the most nerve-wracking thing. The second lightest colour is like normally the first marker you would do, and you're doing it. You're like, just don't touch our brightest spots. After that, it's sort of okay, but sometimes you just go over like, oh, I've just now ruined the highlight.
Just in one motion.
Just gone over it.
You've just gone over your bit you're leaving as a highlight.
Yeah, so that's going to be so nice. You can literally just do the highlights and all the details at the end. And as well, even things that I've been really struggling when I was doing my drawings and marker drawings, I really struggled to find a really nice white marker. The only one I found that actually worked, funny enough, was like £7. And you get through white markers. The only one that worked was basically like a Tipex.
Yeah.
A lot of the time you're trying to use these like gel white markers and stuff, and that's the only real way to get some like actual super bright highlights on the edges of stuff. And you just half the time you're just doing it. It doesn't even go on the paper. Whereas this, if I select white and do it, it's going to come through exactly how I want it to be. So
Yeah.
generally, I'm very excited about the whole drawing side of stuff. But that isn't the only reason why I got the iPad. It's a big reason, and especially for like everything's going to be opening up again. I like the idea of going to a cafe and being that guy sat in the corner with my iPad. A lot of people might be like, "Oh, pretentious designer in the corner."
Solid latte. No.
But the
It's the
idea
best
of
way
that
to
is
enjoy
really,
your
really
coffee
nice.
with some design.
Exactly.
Gotta enjoy your pumpkin spice latte with your,
Oh,
your
Yeah,
iPad and your pencil.
In theory, yes. But the other reason I use it is because I have Lightroom. So I've got Lightroom and Photoshop both downloaded, and I've got the Adobe Cloud for those. So I can upload photos to my Lightroom Cloud on my computer and edit them straight on my iPad. Have
you tried that yet? Because I've not downloaded Photoshop or anything on my iPad.
So I've got it. I need to clean up my Lightroom Cloud at the moment. It's a bit.
Fair. I mean,
full.
you've only had it a week. I'll definitely let you off. I was just wondering.
Yeah. So I need to do that because I've got like 7,000 photos on my Lightroom Cloud and it's full. So I need to get rid of those. But once that happens, I'll then be able to take photos and upload them to my computer, whatever. Go out, edit them, and then airdrop them straight to my phone if I want to put them on Instagram. And because that was the most annoying thing, because what I was doing before, I had to get photos. I sometimes had to reduce the size, compress them a bit, to send them over WhatsApp on WhatsApp web to myself, and then I download it from WhatsApp to then just put it on thingy. Whereas I can literally fully edit something on my computer, open it on Lightroom, and literally just airdrop it straight to my phone, which is going to be so nice. But even just editing on iPad, I think it's going to be really nice, because a lot of the stuff, like when you're doing, like I do a lot of macro stuff, so a lot of the times I have to like select a load of dust spots on the lens, because obviously if you're doing a macro photo, you're zoomed in like 5 times magnification, so a bit of dust is bloody massive on the lens. So being able to like highlight those bits is going to be really nice with a pen. And even if I'm doing some level of image manipulation with like painting in bits to make them darker or highlight areas, doing that with a pen is so much more natural than a mouse. So I'm really excited for that as well. I haven't really played around with that because I haven't actually taken any photos this week.
Hey,
So
I
hard
might
to
get on that hype too. That sounds like a good time.
I'm really excited for that. I've seen a lot of people say good things about it, and I think it's going to be really nice. The only thing I really need is to like because there are things that you could like sync a camera with a device, the more modern cameras. So if I ever got a modern camera, they might not even need to get my computer involved. I could just send it to like straight to my email.
iPad,
whatever.
You can with the one I've taken from my mum.
Yeah, I can't do that because my camera is 9 years old. But when I get an upgrade,
still
that
works.
would be nice.
Still works.
It works just fine. Yeah, it works fine. But the actual last thing I wanted to try was 3D modeling on an iPad. I didn't think I was going to do a massive amount of it. I didn't know how good it would be, so that's why I didn't get the Pro iPad. I don't think I will do it much. I only got the Air, which still got good RAM in it and stuff now, so I think it'll be fine. Good, But I downloaded is it Shaper 3D?
Shaper 3D,
I've tried it once. I've modded my remote control for my TV, and it took me ages.
It's very interesting. I think you have to think about things in a very different way to as if you're on a computer, not surprisingly. But I'm interested to learn that, and I kind of would like to, because that'd be a really nice way to do it, because I've said this before on the podcast. Most of my ideas are when I'm out. I've never sat at my computer and have a 3D modelling idea, ever. Like, it's ever happened. I'm always out, like, 2 hours on a walk from home, and I'm like, I have to try and sketch in my book how to model something. This always happens. And it'd be cool if I had my iPad in my bag and then I could sit down and do a quick 10-minute 3D model of a shape and get it done. I don't think I'm ever going to use it for anything too detailed, too intricate. But I think it can be a really, really useful tool to like get something 80% of the way done and get the idea in 3D. Yeah. So I'm gonna try and I think this week I might select a few things on my desk and model those, and just do a few things each week to try and keep practicing that. I'm not gonna go too crazy like when I was learning Blender, when it was every waking hour I was just hitting my head against Blender. But I'm going to slowly just try and keep doing it and mess around with that, because that sounds good to me. That sounds like a really useful tool.
It uses a lot of the same tools and everything. It has loft and sweeps and things like that, doesn't it?
Yes, but the interface is very different.
They've tried to make it so it's like accessible to anyone, even if you don't know how to use like a proper 3D modeling. That was in air quotes.
Yeah.
Proper 3D modeling software.
It's sort of like there's some things that seem harder. Like if you do a sketch, it's fine, but then going back and editing that sketch, it feels awkward to do and things like that. Which is obviously a huge part of 3D modeling if you're doing it the normal way. So that's going to be a thing for me to learn, but I really would like to. But it might just end up being like things like Rhino 3D modeling software, where there's no real dimensions. You just do it so it looks good. That's probably what I'm going to use it for. Nothing deep, nothing precise.
Yeah, no.
Just shapes being there's going to be a cutout here, cutout there, just working off the planes. I think it could be really good.
Do you know how much?
I think if you just have an idea, you can just quickly visualize it. Like maybe it's a shape which is a bit awkward to sketch, perhaps, or something. So you could do some like side views, front and side view, and then whack it in 3D.
Yeah,
quickly, 15-minute model, and then you can see it.
I think it's going to be so handy for me to just sort of flesh out ideas a bit more.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's sort of all I was. Well, I'll say all I was going to use it for. The three main reasons for a designer to have it.
Do you know how much that is? That 3D thing, because obviously there's like a free version which you can only do like 3 designs on or something. I mean, this is from years ago that I first tried it.
The main difference that I saw, and I'm looking now, but the main difference is actually the file that you can save them in.
Yeah, you can save them as a file which can be seen by a Creo or a SolidWorks.
Yes, so I'm not gonna upgrade this, but the free version, I'm reading here, you can have 2 active designs and you can export them as a low quality SDL. Not ideal. For me, I'm not gonna be 3D printing from this. So this for me is just gonna be basically just a 3D sketch. So I think the idea of only having 2 active designs for me isn't a massive deal, because I'll probably do one, take a few screenshots.
Yeah, take some screenshots of them.
And delete. So all these things are fine for me. You get all the same modeling tools and everything from the free version. It says you can import one trial in any CAD format. Who knows what that means? I'm not going to use that. That's fine. But
I'm not going to waste your trial.
So looking at the subscriptions here, there's a monthly and a yearly, and there's a standard and a business version. So apparently there's businesses that use this professionally. Monthly, it's £27 a month for the standard, and that's £215 for the year.
Starting a business, we're going to use Shaper 3D as our parametric modeling software.
Thing is, I'm sure there is people that are very good at it, and that is very cheap for a 3D modeling software.
Oh yeah, but it's an iPad software at the end of the day that you're paying 30 quid a month
pretty
for.
Simple.
But you need the business version, which is £450 a year, to do 2D drawings for manufacture.
Oh, okay. So you don't.
I wonder what the 2D drawings are like.
Drawings.
I'm not paying £450 to find out.
No, but is it just for that's just for one license, is it? quite expensive for this
I
one.
believe so.
Yeah, it's very expensive. But I mean, compared
I
to
suppose on the go,
compared
I
to
suppose
other
if you're
3D modeling, I guess it's not. But compared to
Other
other
3D modeling,
iPad
yeah, exactly.
things, it's expensive.
I mean, but I don't know what the other ones are like. This might be miles better than other 3D modeling.
Oh, I've not tried another one. Yeah.
I literally asked you, Nick, what's a 3D modeling thing on iPad, and then you're like Shape 3D. So I downloaded it.
Yeah,
because it was free.
I just hear. I mean, I think they sponsor a lot of Instagrammers, Shaper 3D.
I've heard the name
and-
before. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks good for a 3D modeling software on the iPad, right? It does exactly what you need it to do, I think, and
Well, yeah,
and as you said,
you don't
it
want to do a
has-
it's
super
a 3D
detailed
sketch.
thing on your
I think
iPad.
that's a good.
For regular solid modeling, it has everything you would want. It has extrude, shell, loft, union, which is merge, which in other softwares that's actually
I like union.
doesn't apply to solid. That doesn't apply to solid modeling. If you model something next to something else and they're touching, they're already merged in solid modeling normally. But that's in something normally in surface modeling. But in this, it seems like I think Fusion 360 does a similar thing where you can make load of shapes and then actually extrude from one and not the other until they're merged, sort of thing. So you can do that
choose.
sort of stuff.
You can there's a drop down to say if you want to merge it. Do you want to use this to remove material? Do you want to?
Yes.
Do you want it as a separate body? You know, there's things. Like
Yeah.
that, so.
They have Subtract, which is like SolidWorks. That you've got an extrude, take away or an add extrude. They're separate in this as well. You've got a revolve, a sweep, and replace face. I don't really know. I haven't used that.
No.
No.
Not
And
been
then you've got the
replacing any
standard
faces?
offset and project sketches. So, I mean, in terms of standard solid modeling stuff, you've got a lot of the good stuff there. And you can add in your own construction planes and axes and stuff like that. You can also add in images, which is going to be something I'll use if I'm going to be doing this in sketching. Like you said, sketch the cross section, import that straight into one of the planes, and then you just sketch a spline around it, and that's not a problem.
Yeah.
So I think for a very basic sort of get an idea in 3D, it's going to be really good. Especially, I mean, I would never choose this over an actual modeling software if I was sat at home. But I think it's a good option to
It's like complementary, I guess, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
It's just
Or
another
idea
layer on top
generation.
of a sketch.
Yeah.
It's just that next thing to. But because sometimes, to be honest, especially if you're doing something like for the 3D printer things I was doing, there's a lot of parts that have multiple uses. And things like that become a bit sometimes hard to wrap your mind around when you're doing something just to sketch on paper. And you're like, okay, but this has to be this shape here, but then how does it interact with this thing
fit
over here? And that's when 3D is so much better, just to you can see it and be like, oh no, that's gonna not fit or whatever. So hopefully I learn how to use this, and I'll probably check in a bit and let you know how horribly it's going. But
Could be alright.
hopefully,
yeah, I think that's good.
hopefully it's
It'd be
good. Yeah.
to use. Try it out. Yeah, I think they're really good, and I see them as almost like a whack-on replacement in a lot of cases. You wouldn't replace a big Cintiq or something, but if you're gonna get a sketching pad or something, or just use an iPad, I feel like that's just a great replacement for companies to use. And as you said, you can use Photoshop, you can do all your sketching on it.
Yeah.
You can, if you're a company that do Photoshop renders and things like that, then you can use your iPad perfectly to do that. So
Yeah, it's definitely
it's
like I said, I don't think, especially the new massive actual drawing tablets, a lot of those have a screen on them now as well, don't they?
yeah.
Because the old bamboo ones that are whack-on ones, I have one in my drawer, and I used it very little for drawing because I really struggled to get used to looking at a screen but drawing down on my desk. And it'd be fine if you're really accurate with your spline lines, but if you took your pen off the page, I'd lose it because it would just sort of it's really hard to relate where it is because you're basically just drawing on a different scale.
Yeah.
And it was really, really hard. So I found it really hard to get that down. This is just
I bought one a while
world
back,
better.
and it is hard.
It's
I
really
bought it
hard.
because I wanted to use it for streaming, but you just feel handicapped. Like you want to just draw a line
Yeah.
in a location that you know you can draw it in, but it takes 10 attempts. You're like, oh, this is
Can you
hard.
can you hover over to see where you are
You
on
can.
the page?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've never used one. We had
What I
access at
found is
uni,
you
but
can.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't get
You
the
can,
option.
but like when you're sketching, like that slows you down so much. When you like have to work out, oh, where is it, and is this the right spot? And then you draw the next line, and it really ruined the flow for me. I'm sure if I'd have stuck at it, it would have been fine, and it would have clicked one day. But I never had the willpower to
Probably a lot of
actually continue
practice.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my problem was that I could do the rough sketch, and it would still take me like 5 times as long as it would on like paper. And then when it come to doing the refined lines, it was impossible. Like, I just couldn't do it. It was so hard. So I ended up just kind of sticking with rough sketches because I found it easier, and I was a bit more relaxed doing it rather than getting super stressed out because I can't hit I start here and I want to get to this point, and you just end up using the pen tool instead or something that's just easier.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, I'm much more comfortable with this, and for my actual use case of using a drawing tablet, like I don't think I'm ever gonna sit and want to draw straight to my computer, like using one of those drawing tablets. I don't think that's ever gonna be in my workflow, or not right now. So just doing this and be able to sit on the sofa or wherever is ideal for me.
Do you think you'll use it for work at all?
Who knows? For my new job, I have no idea what it's gonna really be like, to be honest. So,
Could
I hope
be
so.
replacement
I
for
hope so.
sketching.
I really hope so. I'm gonna take it. It'll be in my bag, so hopefully I get to use it. I don't really know. Like if other people are using them, 100%, I'll use mine. It might get in the way. I don't really know because it's more of like in a workshop sort of place. There's not really gonna be a sit down and. Yeah, I don't really know. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. Hopefully, I get to use it.
definitely.
So it's used by a lot of artists now, like kind of off topic, but when I thought that I really wanted a tattoo, I went and the tattoo artist sat down with his iPad, and he's just like, he said, I do every tattoo before I do it. I do it on my iPad first. And I was like,
That's cool.
Yeah.
damn, this was ages ago. This was
amazing.
years ago.
Yeah.
When like the first iPad drawing tablet actually came out, and he was already on that hype,
Already on it.
So
Cool,
they
yeah.
definitely have their place in like industries.
yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like the new iPads they're just incredible. I think they've done such a good job, and it's kind of like a replacement for a laptop now, because they released, I don't know if it was last year, but obviously the new iOS software, which it used to be the same iOS software as the phone, and now they've created a brand new one specifically for the iPad.
Yes.
And there's so many new like functions you can use. Like you can separate, you can have multiple things on your screen at once. You can connect a keyboard and a mouse to it and use a mouse and things like that. So it is kind of just like an actual laptop replacement now. And I always find that apps that are made specifically for the iPad, they just run so well. I guess like you guys have have Photoshop for tablets, I guess, right?
Yes.
Well, it's because mine's a Surface Pro. It's a laptop, so I have to use the normal version of Photoshop, and it's quite slow. Like if you get like a big pen out, it's very slow sketching on Photoshop. It's almost like it's almost unusable, to be honest. You probably need more RAM or something for it to be
I
better
guess so,
on mine, but like that's quite challenging. I think it would be okay for like editing photos and things like that, but it's quite tough to sketch on. And I do have the same issue sometimes on Sketchbook Pro. Like the more layers I have, sometimes it does start to slow down quite a lot.
Yeah.
So you kind of have that bonus of like everything that's made on the iPad is just like refined very well.
It'll be that much more efficient for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very happy with it, and I've had basically nothing bad to say about it, apart from the screen is very smooth I guess that's what you get from ground glass, but
Yeah.
I'm going to try. Gonna try and get one of those. I think the brand is actually called Like Paper. Is the main one. It's like £30 for them, but we'll see. I'll have a look.
Oh, it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let
If
you
it-
guys
if it
know
works.
how it is. If it feels like paper,
Yeah, then
that's
it's
great,
worth
right?
it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
we'll
I
see.
think-
We'll see.
Also, iPads they're quite expensive, really. But then when you look at the price of the new iPhones, they
Yeah.
were so much cheaper. Like, because I'm thinking about upgrading my phone because I've had it for like 4 years, and sometimes it's a bit slow. And then I looked, and they're like £1,000, and it's like, ooh, that's a
They're
bit
not
steep.
cheap.
I could buy another iPad Pro for that, you know.
Literally could.
Like,
Yeah.
or probably less than that.
See, what I actually did to buy mine is I got it on PayPal Finance or PayPal Credit.
Yeah, it's 12
And-
months, 0%.
They've got a few things now. The one I did was 4 months, 0%.
Oh,
And it's
cool.
just
I didn't know
pay
that.
it as long as you pay it off in 4 months. You're good. There was one in 3 payments as well, 0% finance. I just chose 4 months, so I'm just going to put a quarter of the price every month.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
it's
great.
a lot more manageable. But a lot of the finance pays, because I got it on John Lewis because they do like an extra year warranty and stuff, just through John Lewis, which is really nice. Obviously, especially something that I might be taking out and
Yeah,
using a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
And their finance, it adds up to be like 16% finance over 3 years. And I was like, oh, that's like another £100.
Yeah, the
So,
0% is where it's at.
Thank for PayPal. But yeah, that's how
That's good.
I did that. But I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Like I said, mainly for the drawing. I really want to get good at the drawing on it.
Yeah.
And a bit more efficient, because right now I'm like using a lot of the tools for it, and it's just like hindering me. It's just taking longer because I'm not used to using them in the right way yet. But
Yeah. Well, I guess once you, as you said, once you get used to it, it will be probably more efficient. You'll be used to it. So, you'll be able
takes
to
a while
produce
to
some
get
great
used
results.
to be honest. Like when
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still not amazing now. Like I don't do it enough. But when I first started, my sketches looked way worse than my like pencil ones, and I just couldn't get around it. But then after a while, you just start to click with it.
yeah. Nice. That's good.
Yeah, and I guess like if you do want to also just do the quick rough sketches, you can still do it. You know, it's
Of course,
like
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But
you
like,
can
you
just
just have
bang
the,
them out
the
super
option
quick
though.
as well.
You can just
Yeah.
add another layer.
you
and
can
then
come
refine
back to
that.
it later and just be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna refine this sketch and make it look like
Yeah.
insane.
Layers are.
Yeah.
I mean, so I know
Yeah.
some people do sketching paper and stuff, well, actual physical drawing, but that's all a bit.
That's just too
Bit
much.
much for
That's
me.
too many trees that are
much.
getting wrecked for no
Yeah.
reason there.
Yeah, I think so.
But there's also the case where you do like a pencil sketch, and then you're like, oh, would this look good with colour on it? Then you put some colour on it, and you're like, no, it won't.
You ruin it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whereas
absolutely
should have
not,
left
yeah.
it.
if you did it with an iPad, you put colour on it, you know, you've wasted 20 minutes or half hour, whatever, but you can still
That's
just get rid of that layer.
Yeah.
I've done that with one of my Instagram ones that I put up, I think. A shoe. I was like, no, prefer it as it
You
was.
can just edit the colours as well, can't you? Like you got free reign, don't you?
Yeah.
Complete.
You can
And
set
yeah.
up the highlights and the shadows
Think
and that,
about
and then just like
How
switch the
expensive
colours.
the Copic Master
That's exactly what I
Copic
was just
marker
thinking.
set would be.
iPad's cheaper than that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely cheaper than a set of markers, for sure.
And that's a good point, I guess, because I know, as I said, Sketchbook does have the Copic like catalog. So if you wanted to learn like how to use the Copic markers digitally, you still could. Like, you could go onto
Yeah.
Sketchbook and use those specific markers. Get used to saying, "Oh, I'm going to use this like a C2 here," or etc.
I guess
And you
you
can
could
get used to it.
You could even do it as a way, because if you still obviously I still like drawing in person, and I still might do marker stuff in person.
Yeah.
But you could use it as a way to sort of work out, okay, I want to buy some Copic markers. They're very expensive. What 10 do I use the most? And you can then work that out on the iPad as well.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh,
Definitely.
these are the markers used the most. These are on the iPad the most. Then you can just get those 10 for £80, whatever that would be,
Mm-hmm.
because they're like £8 each. But yeah, it's good.
Refillable, I suppose.
For like
I mean, the
half the
markers I
price of the
bought,
pen. Just,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how they get you. I mean, for
and they
me,
do get
like
you. Yeah.
I use I do use Sketchbook mainly, and I use I've been using Adobe Fresco recently, which is I think you can use it on the you should have it in your package if you've got
Yeah,
Photoshop,
I meant to check that actually.
Adobe Fresco. Yeah, it's worth trying out. It's free, so
I need to get this
you
Adobe
can
package.
pay. Yeah, it's good because you get pixel brush and a vector brush, and you can pay for
Yeah.
additional vector presets and things like that. So it's there's some pretty interesting stuff on there actually.
Oh, I might be downloading it right now.
I'll say I'm gonna might need to get on that Adobe hype.
I
Yeah,
like
it's
the
worth
idea of the
it's
vector
worth
brush.
such a good deal. It's such a good deal for what you get. I was
It's
like,
like
Photoshop on
£5,
its own was
£6,
£20
something like
a
that.
month.
It's not a lot, is it?
No,
there's
so
a few
Photoshop on
different
its own was
packages.
20, and then
There's
if
a
you
few
got the
different packages,
Photoshop
yeah.
package, you got Photoshop Lightroom and Bridge and like 3 other things for the same price, but you get less cloud storage. So that was the only difference.
Yeah. Yes, and you can run out of the cloud storage if you're taking photos on raw photos, like and you've
Raw
got 4,000 of them.
format,
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to get out and
Well,
about. I want to take some pictures.
Yeah.
Summer
well,
is
I know
coming, my
everything
friend.
opens again next week, doesn't it? What outdoor pubs and gyms and
Yeah,
all
it's
this
pubs
stuff, isn't it?
outdoors.
So-
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
we've got to
Pub's
wait. Well,
back.
we have to meet up anyway. We got to wait to so we can stay
Next
over.
month.
Unfortunately.
I think it's the end of next month. We can start planning a meeting.
Yeah.
Start
Yeah,
planning
I mean
it
we
now
booked
if we want.
booked a holiday. We've
That's,
actually booked
that's
a holiday.
keen.
You're crazy.
It's
Abroad?
only London. We're only going London. No, we're gonna go watch The Lion King. So in
Very
theatre.
nice.
So goddamn. A side tangent there. Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Wrapping up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about on the topic today?
No, it's all covered for
not really.
me.
I
Go out
guess.
and get one.
Yeah, I think like I use it. I've taken it to work today, and I use it as kind of like a piece of paper that if I do need to doodle some ideas down and things like that, I just sketch on it and delete the rough sketches and things like that, or you can save it. Yeah, it's up to you. But when you're just trying to figure out like a part, you just kind of like sketch down the roughest thing ever. So I mean I use it a lot, and it's so good. So I would recommend if you're on the edge about whether to get one or not, I recommend you get one. They're very, very good, and you won't regret it. That's for sure.
No, I agree. Well, I've only had it a week or a week and a half, but
Yeah, but how
Very
long have you
much
been
enjoying it.
thinking about getting one?
oh years.
Because I was the same,
Actual
like at least a
years,
year
yeah.
beforehand, and I was just like, just get it.
It was so long that I actually got
Just
to the stage
do
where
it!
I was being stubborn. I was like, nah, you know what? Nah, I'm just gonna
Just do
keep using a pencil.
No.
Just fight the crowd, but no, wasn't worth it.
They're popular
Buying the
for a
markers
reason.
every time they run out.
Yeah.
I was using my markers the other day, and I feel like 4 of my greys have dried up now, and I was like, God
It's so
damn it.
annoying. So annoying. But
So
I will
that was
still do
irritating.
some hand sketches and my hand
Yeah.
marker stuff for bits and pieces, but this is just a lot easier. I don't need to think about a lot of stuff. I don't need to set anything out. I can go to a cafe anywhere, a coffee shop, and just do whatever I want on it, in theory. Most of
Yep.
the time I'll be here at my desk whilst doing other things, but I've got the option now, which is very nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Cool.
and that's nice. It is nice to sit in a cafe and just chill. As I said, you've got the option. If
can't
you want to
wait.
start doing some sketching, do it. You'll fit in because you go to any cafe, it's just full of people with MacBook Pros. That's generally how it goes.
Exactly.
You come to Exeter, any cafe is just full of like your typical student with Apple products everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I fancy a coffee now.
Oh, so
yeah.
I'm gonna go make one. I think.
A
I only
quarter
had
to
one.
9.
I've had 1 cup of tea today. 1 cup of tea.
No,
'Cause,
that's
I didn't-
unacceptable.
I was a bit on edge about touching the tea bags that were in the basket at work. I was like, I don't want no COVID and these COVID wretches. So I thought I won't have it.
Your new colleagues, perfect.
Yeah.
You German-infested slut.
So tomorrow I'm taking in all my own stuff.
No.
Gonna have a little cafe on my own desk, and I'm gonna buy an AeroPress. So that's
Yes.
on the card
That's
soon.
the
as well.
We can talk about that not on the podcast and not use up
Yes.
these people's time. But should we
Yes.
call it there?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Okay. Go on, wrap up then, Andy.
We have been
Wrap it
the
up.
Great British Design Podcast, episode 11.
Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.